I want to say shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem B'Kafadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, brothers, understanding of Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a lesson through the spirit, piggybacking off the brother Amawan Gabar from the main camp. I know he just did a video on total darkness, about to be lights out for Babylon the Great. And I believe he used this little 2-minute clip, which have Alex Jones or Alex Skull and Bone Jones, giving out his, speaking his, speaking his madness. Though a lot of things what he said be on point, but also you have to understand that they set up what they call controlled opposition as well. So you have to take everything that these leaders say with a grain of salt, man. I mean, and I'm not saying that what he's saying is lying, because he's speaking the truth, but he's been outed for certain talking points when in fact they've set this guy up, man. Okay. But anyway, I'm gonna play this 2-minute video. But before I get into it, because I know how YouTube, they're very petty, they're very sinister when it comes to videos and things that they don't like coming out. They don't like the information coming out on them. So it says copyright disclaimer, and it reads, it says under the Fair Use Act, the Fair Use Act, under Section 107, Copyright Acts of 1776, it says allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. It says fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing, but non-profit, educational, for personal use tips the balance of favor of fair use, man. So we're not making any money from this. We're not degrading anybody. We're not trying to make a profit or anything like that. This is just information that's coming out to inform a particular audience, and we're speaking on Bible prophecy, okay? So without further delay, I'm going to get into this 2-minute video. It basically goes into black outages, grid outages, and we've been studying up on the coming blackouts, the power outages. As on the last couple of years, you had what they call rolling blackouts, because what Esau Edom, or the narrative that he's using, is the fact that the grid is too weak, and we need to save some power and energy in certain places. So therefore, we're going to do rolling blackouts until we upgrade the grid, which I'm hearing the grid has a poor rating. Okay, just like America's infrastructure, I believe last time we checked, it was probably like a D rating. Okay, and that's not pretty good. This is why you see people working overtime on the bridges, painting them, resealing the boats, etc. Because a bridge bottoms out like after 50 years or so. And a lot of these bridges in America, they're way overdue for collapse. So, hey, one day, people driving, sometimes you just see roads just collapse, bam, right into the middle of the lake. Why? Because the infrastructure weak, which is a symbol of America collapsing. Okay, so without further delay, here we go.
Cyber attacks and power outages. Globalists are going to cut our power off and say the Russians did it. It might be, hackers took down a part of the power grid. How many times have I said they're going to blow the power grid up and say Trump supporters did it?
Well, tonight, the nation's intelligence...
Okay, and I'm going to stop it right there. And it's not the fact that he's predicting anything, because, see, a lot of these guys, man, they like to say, oh, yeah, we predict this, we predict that. But, see, they were given the blueprint, okay, just like in Hollywood. When you look at the scripts, okay, these people are given blueprints as to how narratives are going to play out, okay, because this is basically Esau's witchcraft, or his elite on the left-hand side. Okay, it's basically the left-hand priesthood. So it's not the fact that Alex Jones is just some great orator or some great seer. No, he's not. He hasn't predicted a damn thing. He knows, okay, because they fill these men in on the agenda, and then they give them certain talking points to push to the opposing views of the public and the mainstream narrative. So therefore, the mainstream narrative could come back and say, this is disinformation, this is destroying people, it's causing paranoia and fear. That way, we need to put a control on this information that's coming out. So that's how they do it, because it's not what he's saying is a lie. It's the fact that they set him up to say it so they can be justified on taking it down, because now people can label him a sea theorist. And when you call the people somebody a sea theorist, it goes against the mainstream narrative. They could come up with provisions to attack that. You know what I'm saying? Ultimately, to stop this awakening. You see, what Alex Jones isn't telling you is the fact that the Negro, Latino, and Native Americans are indeed the biblical Israelites, and that's what he's not going to tell you, okay? Because if he was a true man and he was a true servant of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, whether he's a Gadite or Northern Kingdom or whoever, I don't know. You know, he speculated that he's Native American, so who knows? But regardless of that, he would be speaking on the truth, bringing out the scriptures, man. He's not doing that. Okay, just wanted to put that out there.
Agencies are warning of cyber threats from Russia and are urging U.S. critical infrastructure defenses to be reinforced.
Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from right-wing extremists.
It wouldn't take much to throw the entire country into darkness.
We've seen the FBI say the number one terror threat is domestic right-wingers.
Specifically those who advocated for the superiority of the white race.
They've now defined it as fascism if you support President Trump.
What do you mean by semi-fascism?
You know what I mean.
Fascist, pro-Trump paramilitary groups.
And then now we start seeing headlines at the top of Drudge yesterday, imminent. Trump's calling for violence. Trump's calling for insurrection. January 6, 2.0.
Threats of violence from homegrown extremists are growing in the wake of the insurrectionist attack on the Capitol January.
And that January 6th stuff was so sloppy. I mean, we saw the real footage on that. And it wasn't nothing of what they were showing in the media. Okay, people, it wasn't nothing like this. This was all Hollywood theatrics. It didn't even seem real, man. It seems really staged and set up, like the props and all that shit. And people really fell for that, man. And then you got the government that's allegedly after this guy Trump. It's all the world is a stage, man. Okay, and people are really bonding to this whole narrative. You still got these people that's left wing versus right wing, but people don't understand. Like, if you were part of a bird, how the hell could the left wing be in opposition of the right wing when you need both wings in order to fly? Now, one wing is injured. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? But when you have both wings, the bird flies, man. And if the one wing gets injured, then the bird docks into the hills. So this is complete smoke and mirrors at this point.
6th.
And if you look at all the pre-programming data points that are there, they're hyping this up.
The grid is a sprawling target. There are actually 3 in the U.S., the Eastern, Western, and Texas has its own. Should a transformer explode, the system is designed to trigger a localized grid-preserving blackout. But if several sections of the grid go down at the same time, the shutdowns can cascade like dominoes.
There's a very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
Pay insufficient attention to
the Eastern, Western, and Texas has its own.
See those transformers are blowing? You know what I'm saying? And those are done by design as well, man. Okay, it's not no Koreans or anybody coming over here doing cyber attacks, man. Okay, now they may have some insight on it, but overall, this is Esau hitting his own shit, man. And he's able to blame it on these other nations is because of the simple fact they're made as boogeymen in the eyes of the American public. You know, and this is why I say that all the elites of these world governments are in league to each other with one another. Y'all in cahoots, man. They may send like a faulty email that look like it's from North Korea. Hey, we're gonna attack your power grid. Who the fuck sends an email and saying we're gonna do something to you? They'll just do it, man. You know, don't make any sense. But like I said, the people are blinded. Okay, they're being totally blinded by this. But nonetheless, this is gonna be a reality because this is Bible prophecy, man. Okay, like rolling blackouts. Like they say that America is in risk of being in a total blackout. So once the power go off, and I was just thinking about this the other day. I was driving, I was coming across the bridge, and I seen a city, like, you know how when you see the whole downtown area and stuff like that, I was like, man, all this shit is getting ready to go dark any day. And these people are gonna bug out because for one thing, they don't have the necessary medical supplies. They don't have food, they don't have water. Okay, like you need at least, you know what I'm saying, in real life, in a realistic, in a real life approach, you're gonna need at least 6, 7, 8 months supply of food. But we understand that living in America, paycheck to paycheck, that's nearly impossible. Okay, as the grocery store only holds up to 3 days supply of food. Okay, but the average person ain't got even a week's supply of water in their house. Okay, nobody's drinking from the tap anymore. You know, so it just kind of behoove you brothers to kind of get you some materials, get you some waters and stuff like that. You know, just things that you don't have to necessarily go out and get, because I'm gonna tell you like this, once these blackouts happen, hey, the first thing people gonna do is start looting and rioting, man. Okay, when they realize that the power is not gonna slide to these those are dishes. But when people realize that there's not going to be any power for a while, that's when people are going to go on a prowl. Okay, they're going to hit up these grocery stores. They're going to rob the grocery stores, you know, and then sooner or later the foods, they're going to rob people's homes, etc. But nonetheless, you need to have something on deck, you know, have some water, some beans, some rice, you know, some non-perishable goods, you know, stuff like that you can sustain yourself, because we're coming into a time now that all hell is going to break loose and you don't want to get caught out there. Though the Lord will provide for his servants, but overall, you know, is to still, you know, be circumspect. Okay, the scriptures say, be not ignorant of anything small nor great. So it's good to have you some things. We're not saying pack up rice to the ceiling and have pantries for the shit in that. No, man, you just want to have you something that you can eat or drink in case they shut things down and you can't really move around like that, like they did back in 2020. You know, everybody was going toilet paper crazy when they should have been getting food and water to kind of, you know, sustain themselves, because restaurants were pretty much being cheap, you know. They was only having like 5 and 6 to a restaurant. You know what I mean? They literally like over-exaggerated the shit that was going on in 2020, which was a test run, man. Okay?
Should a transformer explode, the system is designed to trigger a localized grid-preserving blackout. But if several sections of the grid go down at the same time, the shutdowns can cascade like dominoes.
There's a very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen as a small disturbance in comparison.
Growing concerns over white supremacy in America as President Biden issues this new warning about the threat that it poses.
The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
You a fucking white supremacist, you jackass.
This is not going to be the end of MAGA terrorism. This will only be the beginning.
So basically they showed you, man, this guy, Cotton Swab, basically saying that a blackout or a cyber attack would be the worse than the C-19 crisis, man. So it's all, man, at the end of the day, this is what the elites are setting the people up for. Okay, because how in the hell would he know that? You know, if they wasn't the ones behind it, how would they know? Okay, and they showed you that in that movie, Leave the World Behind, and also it's a new movie coming out called Civil War. All right, so pay attention to these movies they're bringing out, man. Okay, because Esau Edom is getting ready to make those moves, but it's really the left hand of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Okay, so yeah, brothers, man, you know, stay in the spirit, you know, keep your wits about you, you know, stay prayed up, you know, ask the Lord for guidance, because we're going to surely need it, because we're getting ready to come into some very turbulent times, man. Okay, like I said, when the power goes out over this society, it's going to be like, it's going to be murder she wrote, man. People are going to be doing all types of crazy, weird, freaky shit. You're going to hear gunshot. I mean, it's going to be crazy. People literally going to be coming in people's house because there ain't going to be no lights. You know, so, hey, we're going to have to be protected and shielded in that day. And I believe that sometime soon is when Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to start giving the men the spiritual power to really defend themselves, man. Okay, because, shit, honestly speaking, without the power and without the Most High intervening in our lives, man, we'll literally be like sitting ducks. Because this world is getting ready to fall, man. And when it falls, it's going to be hard. All right, so this is the book of Exodus 10 and verses 21. And it says here, it says, darkness over the land. And it says, and the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand towards heaven, that there may be a darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be fell, okay? Like to the point when you go into Wisdom of Solomon, what is it, 17 and I believe 18, or 16 and 17. When you go into those chapters, it goes into how the Egyptians were being plagued with apparitions, okay? To the point that they can literally strike a match and see the flame before them, but they can't even see their hand. It's like almost it was in a different, like a time warp, like a different dimension. You know, things that wasn't even there was appearing to be there. They was hallucinating, you know. The Lord bugged them out with apparitions of the mind, you know, and it's going to be the same way here, because we know that America is hunted by the bloodshed of Gadites, which is Native American Indians. Okay, we know that it's a lot of Jake's blood that was spilled on the land of America. Okay, that's a lot of cemeteries. And on top of that, the Most High just have a spirit of death hovering over this place. So it's not hard for the Most High to make America a hunted horror land, man. You know, like on that movie, The Day Behind, what is it called? Leave the World Behind. if you took a picture of the mask, it's like a kiosk, not a kiosk, but a QR code that pops up, and I believe you click on it, and it shows an amusement park. And when you think of amusement park, you think of fun, games, candies, and rides, right? But the music park was desolate. Like a lot of weird, freaky shit happened there. And America is a big circus, man. So that represents the mirth being brought down. Because when you look at people's spirit, people are just barely holding it together. Okay, they don't know what's left from right from left. And they don't have any hope in this place, man. They're just weighing out their days until there's no more. But it says, and the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand towards heaven, that there may be a darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt, right? Because, I mean, I don't know if you brothers have ever been in a dark room, but the deeper that you go into the dark, the more denser and thicker it becomes, and you can actually feel it. Okay, it feels otherworldly almost, man. I've gave this testimony before, man. I was doing this this is when I was doing indoor construction in hospitals. And a lot of the decommissioned parts of the hospitals, we were to work on because we had to upgrade their what they call penetrates, their walls, their header walls with this particular fireproof sealant. So therefore, if a fire breaks out in a building, it's contained into that particular room for a couple hours before it spreads to other parts of the room. It's called fire rated walls. So we had to go in the decommissioned parts of the hospital and upgrade the fire rating codes by putting this caulk on these what they call header walls, man. You know, and it's another name they call damn, I forgot the name of it. But basically you got what they call a header wall, and then you got the I can't remember, man, but basically we was designed for putting that in like this rock wool stuff up. And hospitals are already, I would say, haunted with spirits because people die in them all the time. But we went up to like the 3rd or 4th floor, and I mean, it just looked like something out of a horror movie. The lights were flickering on and off, and it was just completely empty, but you could tell there was spirits in there. So it was this one corridor we had to walk through to get to the other side of the room. And the corridor we walked through was pitch black, but you could see the light coming from the other room some ways away. And we started walking through it, man. And it really felt like we were literally walking inside of a portal. That's how dark it was. It was to the point I was walking and I couldn't even feel my fucking legs because that's how deep the dark was, man. So just imagine a darkness that's so thick and dense to the point you can't even see what's before you. I can't even see my coworkers, man. I knew they were there because we were talking to each other. But the only thing we was able to see was the light. And that shit was like way down the damn corridor. But as every step we took, it literally felt like we was entering to like a different world or something. It was crazy. I'm like, man, we need to kind of hurry this shit up because I don't like this, you know. But it was scary, man. So this is the same spirit that the Most High is going to bring here to this current Egypt, man. Okay? And not only that, the Most High is going to release a veil of this place, and it's going to be death, man. Okay? It's literally like it's going to be like a 4th dimensional intermerge, man. You know how like in those movies, how those multiverses somewhat merge into one reality? It's going to kind of, and I'm not saying that's the case, but if you think of it in terms of the 4th dimension, which is the spiritual world, basically coming into tune in full contact with this world. Because I mean, you have a barrier. You have this world and you have the world beneath this world. Or let me not say beneath, because niggas, oh, you talking about hell. No, let me take that back. You have a world within the world. Okay, you have a physical realm, which is what we're in, and you have a spiritual world that you can't see. Okay, but it's clearly a different world that cohabitates with our world, and its rules and laws of that world that's not necessarily meant to fabricate with this side. Now, those rules of the spiritual world do play out in this world because the things that were created are created by things which we don't see. That's in the scriptures. I believe that's in Hebrews, if I'm not mistaken. But basically, the Lord gives like certain charges over the spirit world for angels to cross over into this dominion and to have influence. And you can see them sometimes. This depends. But there's going to come a time that the Most High is going to open up that portal, and these spirits are going to start to really manifest themselves in that day. Okay, because think about all the hunger and people start to hallucinate, and then, you know, the medication. People are going to literally manifest things, man. Okay, it's not going to be a hard concept to understand. You know, so when it says a darkness you can feel, that's going into them apparitions too. Okay, because it's going to get real scary out here. Okay, it's going to be more than just shooting and loud cries and screams. I mean, that's going to be a nerving part of it, but it's going to get real bad real quick. Okay, and they're talking about, hey, man, this can literally happen within a couple of months, man. Okay, I can see them doing this around election time. I don't know. I'm just speaking as a man. But somehow, some way, this current administration is what they want. Okay, they're not going to bring DJ Trump back in there. I don't think, because for the simple fact, I mean, he's talking that shit about make America great again, but he's gonna go in there and do what he's gonna do what the elites tells him. Me personally, I think he may end up getting assassinated, fakely. I mean, like I said, I speak as a man, but who knows? They may make an attempt on a body double and put him down, and then, before you know it, these patriots are gonna lose their damn minds, and they coming straight after you, Jakes. Okay, because in their mindset, you put this creepy ass asshole in office, man, that's been grooming your kids. But like I said, we just have to wait and see. It's no guaranteed on that. But it says, anyway, Moses stretched forth his hand towards heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. Okay, 3 days. And it says, and they saw not another, neither rose anyone from his place for 3 days. But all the children of Israel had light in their dwelling, and the elect, we're going to be the light in that day. Okay, the scriptures say, be as a city on a hill that cannot be hid, and let your light shine before men. We're going to be the actual light in that day. Because people are going to realize a different countenance, a different spirit on us. Okay, people are going to want to come around us and be with us. They're going to want to know how we're living, how we're eating, how we're still healthy, why we're not dropping dead from the pestilence. Well, because we have the spirit of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai on us, man. Okay, I have another precept here, and I end it. Several other scriptures we can get, but just for time's sake, this is the book of Isaiah 24. And I'm going to start at verses 4. It says, the earth mourneth and fadeth away, and the world language and fadeth away. And the haughty people of the earth do languish, man, okay? It says haughty means extremely arrogant or proud. And that's the average person here in America. Okay, they're extremely proud, they're arrogant, they don't have a care in the world. They have this lackadaisical attitude, like judgment won't hit them, like they're exempt from judgment. But we're getting ready to find all that out, man, that's clearly not so. And it says, the earth is also defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore have the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burnt, and few men left. Okay, because we know that the end of this place is going to be through ICBM nuclear fire, man. Okay, nuclear missiles, aka World War III. Okay, this is what we've been telling you, Jakes, for the longest. And it says here, the new wine mourneth, and the vine languished. All the merry-hearted do sigh. Yeah, they're going to sigh when they can't go to clubs. They can't go to their favorite restaurants. They can't go to the liquor store and buy their well drinks. And all these rich Edomites that's living in these big multi-mansions, hey, they either in bunkers or out of the country, or they're committing suicide. Okay, but the average person, they're not going to have any joy here. Okay, there ain't going to be no, get you a bottle of Casamigos and let's listen to 5 heartbeats. Ain't going to be that, man. You'll be crying for that bottles of Casamigos, man, because you're going to need it to keep you from going crazy, man. Like liquor, alcohol, like during the time of the Prohibition, that was like gold, man. You know what I'm saying? Alcohol, liquor. People literally going to be trading in valuables just to buy a bottle of cheap wine, man. Oh, you got wine? Man, I'll give you my daughter, I'll give you my wife, and I'll give you 2 loaves of bread just to kill that wine, man. Okay, the people's spirits are getting ready to rouse up. Jake is already robbing cops in Chicago, man. Okay, but it says, the mirth of the tower ceaseth, and the noise of them that rejoiceth ended. The joy of the harp ceaseth, me. Your clubs, man, your reality, your comedy shows, all these things. I can't wait till it happen, because I want to see these people really lose their fucking minds, man. Okay, because you can't tell these people shit right now. You can't tell them nothing, man. You can't tell them a damn thing. In their mindset, oh man, we got this. We gonna go good. You got people that's talking about 2024, like 2024. It may bring concentration camps to your cities, man. So it's not good. I heard one. It was like a real statement. This guy said. He said it was a movie called. It's this movie called. What's the name of this guy? I got my boy in it, Bronson. It's called Fast Charlie, and he was working for this mob boss. He said, if you ever want to make God laugh, he said, say that you got a plan or something like that tomorrow or next week. And these people are making all kinds of plans, because the scriptures say, hey, don't say what you're going to do tomorrow, for tomorrow you don't know, but say Lord willing, because you don't know. You don't know if you're going to be here tomorrow. Okay, you don't know what you're going to be doing tomorrow. You got to make it through the day. You got people making these extravagant plans. Oh, I'm going to set my baby shower. I'm going to have my wedding. We going to have the bridesmaids. We going to wear burnt orange. We going to wear this. My toes going to be blue. My husband going to wear Jordan. Like, you niggas are trying to set plans in the future when clearly you don't have any, you have no guarantee that's going to be the case. So every time we do something, we want to say, Lord willing, Yahweh willing. All right. But it says here, they should not drink wine with a song. Strong drink should be bitter to them that drink it. And the city of confusion is broken down, and every house shut up, and no man come in, right? It says there is crying for wine in the streets, and all the joy is darkened, and the mirth of the land is gone. And the city is left in desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction, man. Okay, and that's the point. These people are getting ready to lose their minds, especially when these blackouts start to really hit. One day we're going to wake up, the bank's going to be shut down, the stock market is going to be out, the dollar is going to be gone, the petrodollar is pretty much done, it's done already. And you're going to wake up to blackouts, riotings, explosions, martial law troops, gunshots, people kicking in doors. It's just going to come all of a sudden. Like it says, peace and safety and sudden destruction, man. But I'm going to end it here, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord, where you were edified into the next lesson. Shalom.